I'm standing in the parking garage of my apartment building, holding a set of BMW keys that aren't mine, and my hands are shaking so bad I can barely get my own key into my car door. It's 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. The fluorescent lights are doing that annoying flicker thing. And somewhere 3 floors up, my ex-girlfriend Megan is probably still showing off the car I just watched get repossessed. The air smells like concrete and car exhaust, and I can still hear her voice in my head from 20 minutes ago. That sharp laugh she does when she's performing for an audience. Looking back, I should have seen this coming the moment she started dating her entrepreneur boyfriend 2 months after we broke up. But we'll get to that. Let me rewind to 6 months ago, because that's when this whole thing actually started, even though I didn't know it yet. Megan and I dated for 3 years. We met in college, moved to the city together, got an apartment in a building that was slightly too expensive, but had those big windows that made you feel like you were making it. She worked in marketing, I was doing freelance graphic design, and things were fine. Not fireworks, not disaster, just fine. The problem, her problem, was that fine wasn't enough. She wanted the Instagram life. The rooftop brunches, the designer bags, the trips to places with clear blue water. And my income was unpredictable. Some months I'd pull in $6,000, some months barely 2. It stressed her out. She'd make these little comments. Must be nice to work in your pajamas all day. My friend Sarah's boyfriend just got promoted to senior analyst. I saw the cutest bag today. But I guess we're saving, right? I tried to explain that freelancing was building toward something bigger, that I was developing a client base, that the flexibility was worth it. She'd nod, say she understood, then sigh in that specific way that meant she didn't. We broke up on a Sunday morning in April. Very civil. She said she needed someone more stable, someone with ambition. I didn't fight it. Honestly, I was tired of feeling like I was constantly disappointing her just by existing. She moved out that week. Took half the furniture, her succulents that were somehow still alive, and this weird tension I'd been carrying in my shoulders for months. Here's the thing about freelance work that Megan never understood. It's either feast or famine. And sometimes famine teaches you more than feast. After she left, I couldn't afford the apartment by myself. I moved to a smaller place across town, 1 bedroom, older building, parking garage that smelled like someone's grandpa's basement. But it was cheaper, and it gave me breathing room to actually focus on work instead of constantly checking my bank account. I stopped saying yes to every low-paying job. Started only taking projects that paid well or built my portfolio. Spent actual time marketing myself instead of just hoping Upwork would save me. And something clicked. By July, I had 2 retainer clients paying me monthly. By August, I'd raised my rates and people were still hiring me. By September, I was making more than I ever had with Megan, except now I was putting half of it straight into savings. The irony wasn't lost on me. The ambition she said I didn't have? Turns out it was there the whole time, just buried under her constant judgment, but I wasn't thinking about Megan anymore. I'd moved on. Started seeing someone casually, spent more time with my friends, finally joined that climbing gym I'd been talking about for 2 years. Life was good, until last month when my buddy Josh texted me at 11 p.m. on a Friday. Dude, you'll never guess who I just saw. I was in bed, halfway through a nature documentary about octopi. Definitely not in the mood for whatever drama Josh was about to drop. But I texted back anyway. Who? Megan, at Apex. She's with some guy. Dude's wearing a Rolex and they're ordering champagne. Apex was this trendy restaurant downtown where the appetizers cost $30 and tasted like 3 bites. Megan always wanted to go there when we were dating, but we couldn't justify it. Good for her, I guess, I typed back. She looks different. Like designer everything. Kept laughing really loud and showing everyone her bag. Very performative. That tracked. Megan had always been a little performative, but it sounds like she'd upgraded to a full production. I didn't think much of it. Ancient history. But then I started seeing her more around town. Our city's not that big. She'd be at the coffee shop I freelanced from sometimes, always dressed up, always on her phone arranging something. I'd duck out before she saw me. Not out of hurt, just out of not wanting to do the awkward small talk thing. The guy she was dating, his name was Brandon, I eventually learned, was apparently some kind of entrepreneur. Tech startup, cryptocurrency, something vague that sounded impressive when you said it quickly. He drove a Mercedes and wore those sunglasses that cost more than rent. My friend Ashley, who was still friends with Megan on social media, would send me screenshots sometimes. Not to be mean, just because they were so over the top. Megan in a bikini on a yacht, living my best life. Megan in front of a designer store. Treated myself? I deserve it. Megan and Brandon at some charity gala. So blessed to be surrounded by success. The comments were always full of people gassing her up, telling her she glowed different now, asking where she got her dress. She's kind of unbearable now, Ashley told me over drinks one night in October. Like, we get it, your boyfriend has money, I shrugged. Not my problem anymore. She keeps posting these subtle digs about her ex, that's you, by the way, who couldn't get it together. I wanted to comment, girl, he's doing fine, but I figured that's messy. Definitely messy, I agreed. Let her do her thing, and I meant it. I was doing well. Better than well. I'd just signed my biggest client yet, a tech company that needed a complete rebrand. It was a 6-month contract that would pay more than I used to make in a year. I was finally building the thing Megan said I'd never build. But here's where the universe has a sense of humor. 3 weeks ago, I'm at my apartment gym. Yes, my building has a gym now. The new place is actually nicer than where Megan and I lived, and I see a guy absolutely losing it on the phone in the lobby. Tall, expensive haircut, the kind of stressed where you can see someone's neck veins. He's pacing, and I can hear fragments of his conversation as I'm heading to the elevator. Don't care what you have to do. Friday latest? This cannot fall through. I recognize him immediately. It's Brandon. Megan's boyfriend. He lives in my building. Of course he does. Of course, I duck into the elevator before he sees me, but now I'm paranoid. My building has maybe 60 units, and the chances of running into them are suddenly very real. I start taking the stairs more, checking the lobby before I leave. It feels ridiculous, like I'm hiding from my own life. But I'm not ready for whatever awkward confrontation would happen if we bumped into each other. Then, 2 Sundays ago, it happens. I'm coming back from the grocery store, arms full of bags because I always think I can carry more than I can, and I'm struggling to get my key card out for the garage gate. The bags are slipping, there's a yogurt that's definitely going to fall, and I'm doing that awkward shuffle dance trying to keep everything balanced. That's when I hear it. Oh my God. Is that Marcus? I freeze. The yogurt falls. It doesn't break, small miracle. But now I'm standing there like an idiot with grocery bags and a yogurt on the ground. And Megan is walking toward me with Brandon trailing behind. She looks exactly like her Instagram. Hair professionally done, designer workout set that definitely cost more than my groceries, that specific confidence that comes from knowing you look good. Marcus. Hi, I didn't know you lived here. Brandon's parking his Mercedes in a visitor spot. The car is pristine, black, looks like it was just detailed. Yeah, moved here a few months ago, I say, bending down to grab the yogurt. One of my bags tears slightly. An apple rolls out. This is going great. This is such a nice building, Megan says, and there's something in her voice I can't quite place. Brandon just moved in. Penthouse unit? Of course. Penthouse. Cool, I say, because what else do you say? Brandon joins us, puts his arm around Megan in that possessive way that's trying to look casual. Babe, we should get going. We have that thing at 3. Right. She turns back to me and her smile sharpens slightly. It's so good to see you, Marcus. You look exactly the same. It's not a compliment. I can tell by how she says it, like she expected me to look worse, or better, or different in some way that would confirm whatever narrative she's been telling herself. You too, I say. Take care. I get into the elevator before anything else can happen. My hands are shaking slightly as I press my floor button. That feeling when you run into an ex and you're holding torn grocery bags, it's not anger, it's not sadness. It's just this weird embarrassment that you can't quite shake. I tell myself it doesn't matter. I'll just keep avoiding them. The building's big enough. But here's the thing about living in the same building as your ex and her new rich boyfriend. You can't actually avoid them forever. Over the next week, I see them 4 times. Once in the lobby when I'm getting my mail, once in the parking garage when I'm leaving for a client meeting, once at the building's rooftop common area when I'm trying to actually use the amenities I pay for. Each time, Megan has this look. Not quite pity, not quite superiority, something in between. And each time she makes a comment. In the lobby, still doing the freelance thing? That's so flexible. In the parking garage, oh, you still have the Honda? I love that you keep cars forever. So practical. At the rooftop. This view is amazing. Brandon's penthouse has an even better one, though. You should see it sometime. She's not being outright mean. That's not Megan's style. She's being subtly condescending in that way where if you called her out, she could act confused and offended. Brandon mostly ignores me, which honestly I prefer. He's always on his phone, always stressed. Always talking about deals and investors and timing. My friend Josh. When I tell him about it over beers, just laughs. Dude, she's trying to prove she won the breakup. Just ignore her. I am ignoring her. Ignore her harder. Solid advice, actually. But then comes Friday night. November 1st, the night everything shifted. Our building has this monthly resident mixer thing in the common room. Free wine, cheap cheese, the property management trying to build community. I never go. But my neighbor David dragged me because he didn't want to go alone, and I owed him for accepting a package for me last week. I'm standing in the corner, drinking mediocre Pinot Grigio from a plastic cup, listening to David talk about his job in pharmaceutical sales. When Megan and Brandon walk in, Megan sees me immediately. Her eyes light up in that way that means she's about to make a moment. She walks over, Brandon following, and she's got a glass of champagne. She brought her own. Apparently the free wine wasn't good enough, and she's smiling big. Marcus, you actually came to one of these. Yeah, trying to be more social, I say, keeping it light. That's so good for you, she says, and again, the condescension is just barely there. Brandon and I come to all of these. It's important to network, you know? You never know who might need your services. She says services like I'm a handyman. A few other residents have drifted over. The property manager is doing her thing, introducing people, trying to facilitate mingling. We're now in a group of about 8 people. Someone asks Brandon what he does. He launches into this whole spiel about his startup, something about blockchain and sustainable investing and disrupting traditional markets. It sounds impressive if you don't listen too carefully. The residents are nodding, asking questions, and Brandon's eating it up. Then someone asks me what I do. Graphic design. Freelance, mostly branding and web stuff. Oh, that's nice, one woman says politely. Megan jumps in. Marcus is so talented. He just works from home, very low pressure. Not everyone's built for the corporate grind, you know? There it is. The dig, delivered with a smile. Brandon adds, I respect the freelance hustle, man. It's tough out there. Not a lot of stability. I feel my jaw tighten, but I just nod. It has its challenges. I bet, Megan says, sipping her champagne. When we were together, Marcus was always stressed about money. I'm so glad I found someone who has it more. Figured out. Dead silence. A few people look uncomfortable. David's eyes go wide. She said it, out loud. In front of strangers, Brandon looks pleased. Like Megan just scored a point in a game I didn't know we were playing, I could fire back. Could mention my new contract, my savings, the fact that I'm doing better than I ever was with her. But that feels petty, and honestly, I'm too shocked to form words. Instead, I just say, excuse me, and walk to the bathroom. I stand in front of the sink, looking at myself in the mirror, face hot with embarrassment and anger. That feeling when someone publicly humiliates you and you're too polite to defend yourself, it sits in your chest like a stone. Text Josh. Megan just roasted me at the building mixer in front of everyone. He responds immediately. What happened? I type out the whole thing, hands shaking slightly. Dude, that's brutal. You okay? Yeah, just need a minute. Want me to come over? Nah, I'm gonna leave. This is too weird. I splash water on my face, take a breath, and head back out. I'm planning to grab David and bail, but when I get back to the common room, something's happening. There's a commotion near the window. Brandon's on his phone, and he's not just stressed, he's panicking. What do you mean it's gone? It was there this morning. Megan's next to him, looking confused and worried. What's wrong? She asks. Brandon walks away, phone pressed to his ear, voice rising. I don't care what happened. I need it back, now. The party's kind of frozen. Everyone's pretending not to listen, but absolutely listening. Brandon comes back, face pale. He looks at Megan. We need to go, now. What happened? I'll explain in the car. They leave quickly, Megan's champagne abandoned on a table, and the party slowly returns to normal. Everyone's buzzing with curiosity, but trying to be polite about it. David leans over. What was that about? No idea, but I'm curious now too. I find out 2 days later on Sunday afternoon. Because apparently building gossip moves fast. My upstairs neighbor Helen, sweet lady, retired, Knows everything about everyone, catches me in the hallway. Did you hear about the penthouse drama? I play dumb. No, what happened? She leans in conspiratorially. That couple on the top floor? The fancy ones? Apparently, his car got repossessed Friday night. Right out of the garage, my stomach drops. Repossessed? That's what I heard. And there's more. Building management is asking him about back rent on his unit. Apparently, he hasn't paid in 3 months. 3 months. He's been living here acting like he owns the place and hasn't paid rent in 3 months. Wow, I say, trying to sound casual. That's crazy. I know. And his girlfriend? I've seen you two talking. Are you friends? She apparently had no idea. She was crying in the lobby yesterday. I feel a weird mix of emotions. Vindication, because of course Brandon was full of it. Sympathy, because Megan got played. Satisfaction, because the universe has a sense of timing. And also just sadness, because this whole thing is messy. That's rough, I say, isn't it? Anyway, I think they're moving out. Saw them packing boxes. That evening, I'm heating up leftover pasta when there's a knock on my door. I look through the peephole. It's Megan. She's wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, no makeup, eyes red. She looks nothing like her Instagram. I open the door, curious and cautious. Hey, she says quietly. Can we talk? I let her in. My apartment is small compared to where we used to live. Definitely small compared to Brandon's penthouse. But it's clean and it's mine. She sits on my couch, and for a minute, she doesn't say anything. I'm sorry about Friday, she finally says. What I said. That was really shitty. I sit in the chair across from her. Yeah, it was. Brandon's not who I thought he was. Her voice cracks slightly. Everything was a lie. The business, the money, all of it. He's in massive debt. The car was leased and he stopped paying. The penthouse, he hasn't paid rent since August. He was just faking all of it. I don't know what to say, so I just nod. I thought I found someone stable, she continues, laughing bitterly. Someone with ambition. And he was just a con artist in nice clothes. I'm sorry, Megan, that really sucks. She wipes her eyes. I saw your Instagram. Ashley sent me some stuff. You're doing really well. I'm doing okay. Better than okay. That rebrand project you posted about? That's huge. And you did it on your own. There's a long silence. I was wrong, she says quietly. About you. About everything. I thought stability meant money and titles and stuff, but you actually built something real. I don't know if she expects me to comfort her or forgive her or what. Part of me wants to say, I told you so. Part of me just feels tired. I appreciate you saying that, I say carefully. But I'm not really sure what you want from me right now. Nothing. I wanted to apologize. And tell you that you deserve better than how I treated you. She stands up, wipes her eyes again. I'm moving back in with my parents for a bit. Getting my life together. Brandon left yesterday, just vanished. Where'd he go? No idea, blocked me on everything. I think he had other girlfriends too. Other people he was scamming. Jesus, are you okay? I ask, because despite everything, I'm not heartless. I will be. Eventually. She heads to the door, then turns back. For what it's worth, you were right. About the freelancing. About building something real. About not caring what other people think. I should have supported that instead of... She trails off. Instead of making me feel like I wasn't enough. Yeah, that. She leaves and I close the door behind her, standing in my quiet apartment. The next morning, Monday, I'm heading to my car when I see it in the garage. A white BMW 4 Series, just sitting there in a visitor spot, door slightly ajar. I walk over, curious. There's a set of keys on the driver's seat and a note on the dashboard. I pick up the note. Brandon's handwriting, messy, rushed. For whoever finds this, payment on this is 3 months behind. They'll repo it soon anyway. Consider it a gift or sell it for parts. I'm done. The keys are just sitting there. The car is unlocked. He just abandoned it. I look around the garage. No one's here. The car is nice, nicer than anything I'd ever buy for myself, but it's also a ticking time bomb. Someone's coming for this car, and soon. I do the responsible thing. I report it to building management. They call the leasing company. Turns out, yes, the car is scheduled for repossession. They're sending a truck Wednesday. But here's where it gets interesting. Tuesday afternoon, I'm at the coffee shop working when I see Megan's Instagram story. She's posted a photo of herself on public transit with a caption, "Humility looks good on me." Starting over. The comments are confused. Where's the boyfriend? What happened to the lavish lifestyle? I almost feel bad for her. Almost. Wednesday morning, I'm leaving for a client meeting when I see the tow truck pulling into the garage. Two guys, official looking, there to collect Brandon's BMW, and walking behind them. Looking small and tired is Megan. She's holding a Starbucks cup. Watching them prep the car for towing, I almost just walk to my Honda and leave. It's none of my business. She's not my problem, but something makes me walk over. "Hey," she turns, surprised. "Oh, hey, you okay?" She shrugs. Just wanted to see it happen, I guess. The final nail in the coffin of my delusion. The tow truck guys are hooking up the BMW. It's almost done. "That car was supposed to be mine," Megan says quietly. "Brandon kept saying he'd buy it outright, put it in my name. Said it would be my dream car." I believed him. I look at the BMW. It's objectively nice. Clean lines, the kind of car that turns heads. "It's just a car," I say. "I know. But it represented, I don't know, success, making it. Proof that I chose right." One of the tow guys approaches. "You folks need to move, we're about to pull out." We step back and the BMW gets lifted onto the truck. In less than 5 minutes, it's gone, headed to wherever repossessed cars go. Megan watches it disappear, and then she does something unexpected. She laughs, not a happy laugh. A release laugh. The kind that's half crying, "I'm such an idiot." "You're not an idiot. You just trusted the wrong person." She turns to me. "You were the right person. And I treated you like you weren't enough." Here's the thing about closure. It doesn't always come from big dramatic moments. Sometimes it's just standing in a parking garage watching a fake lifestyle get towed away. "I need to go," I say, checking my watch. "Client meeting." "Right, of course. Big important client meeting for your big important career." She says it without sarcasm. "Just fact. Good luck, Megan." "Really? You too, Marcus. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen Megan since." Ashley tells me she's moved back home, deleted most of her Instagram, got a new job at a smaller company. She's apparently in therapy, working on herself. All the things you're supposed to say when your life implodes. Brandon? No one knows where he went. Turns out he had warrants in 2 states for fraud. The penthouse he was renting, he'd scammed the landlord with fake pay stubs and references. The whole thing was a house of cards, me. I'm good. Really good. That client meeting went well. I signed another big contract. My savings account is healthy. I'm actually looking at buying a condo next year. And yeah, I still drive my Honda. It runs fine. Gets me where I need to go. Last week, Josh asked me if I felt vindicated. About what? Megan, everything. The universe proving you right. I thought about it. About Friday night at the mixer when she humiliated me. About seeing Brandon's car get towed. About Megan apologizing in my living room? Not really, I said. I just feel relieved, like I dodged something. Bro, you didn't dodge it. She left you. Yeah, but if she hadn't, I'd still be trying to prove myself to someone who didn't value me. That's worse than any breakup, he raised his beer. Wise words. Therapy's expensive, but it works. We laughed, and it felt good. Here's what I learned from all of this, if there's a lesson. Success isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's not about the car you drive or the apartment you live in or the champagne you bring to building mixers. It's about building something real, even when people can't see it yet. It's about not letting someone else's doubt become your own. And it's about recognizing that the people who matter will see your worth without you having to perform it. Megan needed the performance. The visibility, the proof. And when she found someone who seemed to offer that, she jumped at it without looking deeper. I don't blame her for that anymore. I just feel grateful I'm not still trying to be enough for someone who needed me to be something I wasn't. My phone buzzes. It's my client confirming our next meeting. The project's going well. They want to extend the contract. I smile, text back a confirmation, and start my car. The Honda starts up just fine, like it always does. And I drive home to my small apartment with the slightly flickering garage lights. And it feels like exactly where I'm supposed to be. Sometimes the dream car isn't the point. Sometimes the dream is just being okay with where you are and who you're becoming. And honestly, that's worth more than any BMW.